Tonight we will delve into the nature versus nurture arguments that are either narrowing or expanding the gender gap. We'll meet Reynolds Price, the author, teacher, and storyteller from North Carolina who used a lengthy convalescence to improve his craft. But first tonight, a bright light of Broadway. Herb Gardner has already been a sculptor and cartoonist before he quit and wrote a play about a man who quit his job. 1,000 Clowns was the result, followed by The Goodbye People and I'm Not Rappaport. He's presently enduring the success of his latest play, Conversations with My Father, that stars Judd Hirsch on Broadway. The reluctant playwright, Herb Gardner, joins us here, and what a pleasure it is to have him. Welcome.
Good to be here.
I need to fix my ear here while we talk. Conversation with
Fix your ear?
Fix my ear.
Oh.
That's right.
I'm so glad you could come, Charlie.
Thank you very much. Herb, it's nice to be at your place. And what a nice table you have here. I like this
Yeah,
table.
well, we try to keep things sort of minimal and
casual.
casual.
And a beautiful set, too. It has, I mean, it's, you know, you must have spent a lot of money creating this set.
Well, we were trying to get the McNeil Lyra effect.
Yeah, but that was already done.
And we rounded it out.
Yes. I mean, I would like to work at the McNeil Lyra set because, it sweeps around you. Here, this one, it's like just a good morning breakfast.
They look more serious than you do.
They are more serious than I am, and much more professional, too.
Okay.
Not to speak of better at what they do.
But you will pull yourself together.
I will try. Conversations with My Father on Broadway as we speak. Judd Hirsch was here talking about it, who plays Eddie. You had the idea how many years ago? I mean, this is one of those things that has been rattling around in the brain of yours.
Maybe 15 years ago, 12 years ago. I don't know.
But why did you only
I'll write that play one day.
Yes, you will. You only started writing, what, 3 or 4 years ago? To really get serious about it?
4 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. And you are notoriously a slow writer.
Slow.
Slow is
Very
not the way.
slow.
And why is that? Because you're such a craftsman, and if you write as well as you do, then by God it takes time, or is there a better explanation?
I'm just slow.
It's just slow.
Slow.
Yeah.
Even now, see, just forming words, sentences,
Yeah,
paragraphs.
I just got to kind of pull it out, right?
Yeah. Well, every once in a while, especially these days when, talking about my play, and for those months after a play opens or a movie and you talk about it,
Yeah.
I realized, and as you sat down when you came in, I thought, I'm going to get an episode of what we all get at this point, which is interphobia, which is a sort of interview
Phobia.
trauma.
Yeah. And did you get it?
I realized you were about to ask me a question. I saw your lips were moving and couldn't really hear the question. I know it's going to be about this play, and I should respond.
Yeah. But was it a kind of paralysis, or what is it that hits you?
I've been talking about myself too much.
Yeah.
I hear my own voice. Somebody says, "What is your play about?" And I always say, "I hope you know."
I know what your play is about. You want me to tell you?
Oh, please.
Okay.
Please,
Well, I mean, Eddie.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. I do know about it, but you don't want me to tell you about it. I'd rather have you tell about it. Let me talk about something that's more serious. The play was not nominated for a Tony.
Really?
That's right. And a lot of people think that was terribly unfair.
A shock.
I know, but I want you to tell me heartfelt what you feel.
Is that what they brought you here to tell me?
Yes, exactly right. And I want to know, with no holds barred, how you feel about that, other than the fact that you're a sensitive man and you feel a little bit hurt about it.
I am a sensitive man.
You bet. I mean, and a gifted man.
And humble.
And how angry are you about this?
I'm trying to think how I felt this about 2 weeks ago. Well, it's a system from which I've also benefited. It's hard to complain about the justice of it.
Because I'm Not Rappaport won a Tony Award as Best Play.
I've been trying to develop an attitude. You asked me how I feel. I've been trying to develop an attitude towards it of a kind of whimsical or vague humility. And it's not working.
It doesn't. So what sets your heart? I mean, don't develop an attitude. Tell me what you feel.
I don't know. I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay. Is it hard to talk about it?
Clearly, it must be.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah, but you can't.
How do you feel about not being nominated
for a Tony?
Yeah.
Well, if I were you, I'd feel disappointed and a little bit. I think that they had made a bad judgment. If I were you, because I think that's the feeling and the consensus among the theater community, people that appreciate theater. I think if there's a consensus, it is that you probably should have gotten a nomination, and some people wonder why you didn't. I don't want to do it if it's unfair to you, seriously.
Oh, no, it's okay.
But it is, as you know, among you guys talk to each other, and you're friends, a lot of you, and there is a feeling that the fact that you, I mean, and people have written about it, I'm not the first one to bring this to your attention, that somehow it was unfair. I mean, they look at plays that have closed, that have been nominated, and they say Conversations, you know, some say it's one of your, they like it a lot. You know, they think it's better than I'm Not Rappaport. They do, and think it's more you, and they say, boy, if that won a Tony, this at least deserved a nomination.
You see how I'd so much rather hear you talk about it than me?
I'm not
but
going
you know, that Nobel Peace Prize, which I got,
that made all the difference
really,
in the world, didn't it?
I thought it was going to be Best Supporting Nobel Peace Prize, and they gave me like the real Peace Prize. Right. And it was so little, really, I feel that I did.
For an adapted work, as I remember, wasn't it? For an adapted work from another medium.
Something not originally intended for peace itself.
Yes, that's right.
And I got it.
And who
so how can I complain about it?
Whose work did you adapt for that?
I actually...
Gandhi or Martin Luther King, or was it, in fact, Mikhail Gorbachev?
I stole some Dag Hammarskjöld's notes. You know, Dag Hammarskjöld was once a drummer with a group.
He wrote a book,
Dag Hammarskjöld on drums.
This is the same Dag Hammarskjöld that wrote Markings, which was a fabulous book.
A different guy.
Different guy.
Different guy. But
your guy was the UN or not?
As I said, I could not complain with that Nobel Prize and all that. I just couldn't complain about these Tonys. It just didn't seem right.
Well, but when you won the Tony for I'm Not Rappaport, did you say to yourself, I know what you said. You got up and you said, "There's life after Frank Rich," is what you said.
I did say that. I actually witnessed myself saying it, and then I wasn't sure what I was going to say. Well, I kept. Yeah.
Well, did you for a moment say, I don't deserve this?
Did
you for a moment say, I didn't deserve this?
No, I was, that would have to come much later. I started off by being quite shocked, actually.
You were?
I was sure that, I remember thinking that The House of Blue Leaves was going to win. And I figured they had the title wrong. That was my first.
All right, let me talk about Conversation with My Father.
Can I draw on my vast reservoir of humility for a little while longer?
Yes. your paralysis of expression you can draw on too, or cure. Let me talk about Conversation with My Father, though, because it is, you said a fascinating thing that resonated with me. You said 21 years after your father's death, you still start to imagine, think of conversations with him.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it's all the conversations you wished you had, all the final chapters, perfect statements, ideal forgiveness.
Is Eddie in this play? I mean, is partly your father? Is it partly autobiographical? Because it takes place in a bar. Your father ran a bar, the Silver Gate.
Ran a bar called the Silver Gate, and I call the bar and this the Golden Door. Right. And there are a lot of things that are geographically and emotionally similar, but it's a kind of it's a collage of some uncles and a father and my imagination.
What are you saying about anti-Semitism? Because that also is part of this.
What am I saying? Well, it started to, I guess it's the last 4 or 5 years, what went on in the 30s and the 40s and a lot of what's represented in the play, I feel the ghosts are returning as alive as ever. I mean,
you mean in Eastern Europe, would you see sort of
that's
things
part of it,
that
but
sort of
in my own, well, it's why Wendy Wasserstein, who I hope was going to be here tonight, who is my publicity representative, as you know.
She is indeed, and my close and dear friend.
Among other things, a couple of years ago when the Heidi Chronicles was playing, I don't know if I ever told Wendy this, but 49th and Broadway, there was a big Heidi Chronicles poster, and over the name Wasserstein, they put a swastika.
Yeah.
In the play, I'm Not Rappaport, has the main guy, I don't know if you saw the play. Yeah. He's a guy from the old Jewish labor unions, and there's a speech where he talks about a strike being led in Yiddish, where he's clearly identified as a Jewish character. And I had a lot of trouble a couple of years ago when the play was done in Paris, having them keep that speech in the play, which identified him as Jewish.
Well, in fact, they didn't
want a lot of trouble in the Berlin production of the play.
They did not want him to be Jewish? Or just that
they
speech?
They didn't want him to be, and this is the scariest form of this stuff, they didn't want him to be that Jewish. It's like it's okay to be Jewish, but not that Jewish. So I had to, I mean, they eventually put the speech back in. Was I threatened to close the production down, and it ended up running a couple of years in France.
The play is
we won a Molly Award.
A Molly?
It's the Molière Awards.
The Molière?
They call them the Mollies in Paris.
That's their Tony, is it?
Yeah. And the same thing happened in Berlin, but in Berlin I had to close the production down. The guy said he couldn't remember that speech. He had trouble remembering it.
The guy being the
guy who played the lead.
Really?
Who wouldn't say the speech. These are my own personal references, but I became aware in these two productions, this is only in the last 3 years this occurred, of the stuff that had gone on years ago and that it was coming back. And of course with the breakup of Eastern Europe and all the ethnic rivalries, it's there again.
This play is also about, you know, wanting to be an American and proud to be Jewish, and sort of the balance between, or
the balance or imbalance.
Or the imbalance
both.
Is really, yeah.
Well, it was the whole thing of when, you know, I know in my family there was this determination to be an American, and everyone's either, you know, hidden fear that, and there's something like this in the play where that you know, in order to become somebody in this country, there was always the danger that first you had to become no one at all.
Yeah, you had to be homogenous.
Yeah. You know, in the play too, the guy talks about going to the melting pot and melting away.
Set up the scene for me in which Eddie is talking to his son about school, right?
Oh, about Hebrew school, yeah.
At Hebrew school. Set it up, and then we'll see it, because we've got an excerpt from
Set it up, Charlie?
Well, you want me to do it? You do it.
I can do it.
I mean, in other words, for the audience at home who may not have seen the play,
actually,
make it easier for them to watch this scene.
This sort of did happen to me in the play. It's just, well, very much like me. There was a period for about 7 months where I didn't go to Hebrew school, and I forged letters from my father to the rabbi, and from the rabbi back to my father. I had this con going, and one day my father discovered that I was not going, and they had a very mixed thing about going to Hebrew school. It's like, you know, include God in your life just in case you need him, and just in case there is one.
Roll tape, conversations with my father.
They ain't got those guys.
Sure they ain't, I know that, but they're connected. That's the important thing in life, connections. Now, first thing right off, I want to guarantee you something. There is a God. You got that?
I'm with you on that. We only disagree on where he's located.
Hebrew school, he's located there, so you go back there. Because there's times. There's times you're in trouble, you're sick, just before you die. Just before you die, you're going to be grateful that you stayed in touch. That's the payoff, kid. There's going to be a time, guaranteed, you're going to be grateful I made you go. But the main thing is, you don't go back, I'm going to kill you.
The question frequently arises whether you had Judd Hirsch in mind when you were writing the character Eddie.
I didn't really. I would, when I'm writing, I just sort of, they're all sort of real people in my head, but Judd has been in 4 of my things now. But we're from the same actual and emotional neighborhood.
Yeah.
So
in fact, you lived, what, blocks away from each
well,
other?
in Brighton Beach, you live 5 blocks away from me, and with Rappaport and with this, he says, "Is that which guy is this? Is that the guy from the cafeteria?" I say, "That guy." He says, "Oh, okay."
Does it bother you sometimes when people look at you, and they say this about Neil Simon as well?
Neil who?
Simon.
Simon.
You remember Lost in Yonkers, don't you?
Right.
It was a little play that
Right.
was on Broadway. Yeah,
It's coming back.
The Pulitzer critics liked it too.
Right.
Some say about you, some of the critics say, without pointing to any particular one, that he's commercially successful, but they.
I don't know why I love that.
Why? But then they say,
No.
but you know, then they say, but. It's like he's commercially successful, but, as the audience flows into the theater. What do you say to that? Do you care?
The but part is
the but is, I don't know what the but is. The but is the same thing that sometimes they say about Neil Simon's work. Very popular, but, you know, it's not something.
And what do I feel when they say but?
Yeah. In other words, does that bother you at all? I think you know, and you're playing with me.
No, no. It's just the idea of commercially successful, since I haven't always been, seems already remarkable. Yes, the last one was. Yes, that's true. And there were others, but the but part, I don't know. It's all according to what follows the but.
It's a true story. Back to I'm Not Rappaport. Is that you looked out your window where you wrote, and then you'd see two men.
Yeah.
On a bench, and you watched them, and they would talk to each. They wouldn't say anything. They'd sit there silently, and then they'd yell at each other, and then they'd sit there silently.
Yeah.
And you watched them, and they'd do it every day. You'd watch them come and sit at the same bench.
So I was writing something else, and I saw the two guys, and I started to imagine what they must be saying to each other. And I knew they must be good friends because they always returned to the same bench, and although they sat on either side of the bench and yelled at each other, they never left each other. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I assumed this is what they were saying.
And finally you went out to eavesdrop, huh?
No, I never did hear them. I went to look for them after I wrote the play. Oh. After I wrote the first 30 or 40 pages.
Well, see, I was misunderstood that. I thought you went out to hear what they were saying so you could see
I
if
wished I could have. I never found them. I was supposed to be doing an actual grown-up professional job at the time, which was a screenplay, and as what always happens with me is I get an idea for a play and reality goes out the window. But I did go to try to find them. I never saw them, never found them again.
I mentioned in the introduction, I need to say this before you close, you don't even really today think of yourself as a playwright, or you think of yourself as an amateur playwright.
Well, years ago after 1,000 Clowns, I thought of myself as a playwright. Because
You'd written your one play.
I'd written the one play, and
it was about you.
It seemed to be years before I'd start again. But I interrupt you in the middle of your question.
Well,
I know it was a good one.
It was the best one I've had so far.
Good. Oh.
It basically was, you didn't think of yourself as a playwright, and in fact, you never intended to be a playwright. Take our good friend Wendy Wasserstein. She intended to be a playwright early on, went to Yale Drama School, knew what she wanted to do, thought about it, worked at it, became very good, and won a Pulitzer Prize. You, on the other hand, went to school to be a sculptor, correct?
Sculptor, and then I was a cartoonist.
And then you were a very successful cartoonist.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then finally just gave it up.
Well, it's funny, with the cartoons, I noticed the balloons were getting bigger and bigger with the words in them, and the characters were getting smaller and smaller.
What did that say to you?
I figured it must be dialogue, I guess. But I still feel like Wendy and other playwrights I know do seem like real professionals.
Yeah, that's right. She's actually a genuine playwright, and you're just what?
I come there in the morning and I hold on to the edge of my desk.
Yeah,
like
but see, that's the interesting thing. You go there every morning at 9 o'clock. I mean, you take it as almost as a business. You show up at 9 o'clock because you believe that if somehow the inspiration strikes you, you want to be ready to go, right?
I go there at 9 because I'm hoping to get there before I do.
Meaning what?
Before the guy who says, "What are you doing?" shows up.
This guy says, "You don't belong here.
Yeah,
go back to cartoons."
Are you using the English language? That's like, you can't do that.
Yes.
Go back to what you understand.
Yeah. Just don't go away without me understanding. Your wife is a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or what? Teaches English, or what does she do?
She is a professor of religion. And she runs the religion program at Hunter College.
Yeah. I knew it was something interesting. That's all I have, Herb. That's about it for me.
Okay. Oh, you're done?
Yes, but don't go yet.
But I have other guests.
Oh, you do? People you want me to meet?
Yeah. No, I meant other guests who I'm interviewing. I thought you were saying you were going to leave.
You want to stay for the rest of the show? You want to sit here through the rest of the hour? Do you or not? You want to sit here for the rest of the hour? Yes or no?
I don't know if that'd be a
Herb will stay with us. I don't know if he'll make it through the show, but you'll stay, and we'll see if you can contribute anything to this broadcast.
Certainly.
Because
certainly, Charlie.
No, you're not going anywhere. You're sitting through this hour. You got it?
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back.
What do you get for a thing like this?
Nothing. Oh. You pay your dues, fella. Oh. When we come back, boys will be boys and other myths of gender. Joining me for the conversation, my co-anchor, Herb Gardner. Don't miss it.
Please come back.
Thank you, sir.